I am continuing my reading. What I'm doing in this series is to read through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This consists of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I am reading in a chronological order of events, not according to publication or volume, so I will be skipping around a bit as I move along. So we've read how Assyria besieged Jerusalem, mocked God and everything, and then was diverted away by a rebellion in Ethiopia. While gone, they sent a blasphemous letter back to Jerusalem, mocking God again, and Hezekiah laid out this letter in the temple and said, God, are you going to let them get away with this? Now we read what happens next. We pick this up in 2 Kings chapter 19. We will be reading, starting in verse 20 and reading to the end of the chapter. Then Isaiah the son of Amoz said to Hezekiah, saying, Thus saith the Lord God of Israel, that which thou hast prayed to me against Sennacherib king of Assyria I have heard. This is the word that the Lord hath spoken concerning him. The virgin, the daughter of Zion, hath despised thee, and laughed thee to scorn. The daughter of Jerusalem hath shaken her head at thee. Whom hast thou reproached and blasphemed, and against whom hast thou exalted thy voice, and lifted up thine eyes on high, even against the Holy One of Israel? By thy messengers thou hast reproached the Lord, and hast said, With the multitude of my chariots I am come up to the height of the mountains, to the sides of Lebanon, and will cut down the tall cedar trees thereof, and the choice fir trees thereof, and I will enter into the lodgings of his borders, and into the forest of his Carmel. I have digged and drunk strange waters, and with the sole of my feet have I dried up all the rivers of besieged places. Hast thou not heard long ago how I have done it, and of ancient times that I have formed it? Now have I brought it to pass that thou shouldest be to lay waste fenced cities into ruinous heaps. Therefore their inhabitants were of small power. They were dismayed and confounded. They were as the grass of the field, and as the green herb, as the grass on the housetops, and as corn blasted before it be grown up. But I know thy abode, and thy going out, and thy coming in, and thy rage against me. Because thy rage against me and thy tumult is come up into mine ears, therefore I will put my hook into thy nose, and my bridle in thy lips, and I will turn thee back by the way by which thou camest. And this shall be a sign unto thee. Ye shall eat this year such things as grow of themselves, and in the second year that which springeth of the same. And in the third year sow ye, and reap, and plant vineyards, and eat the fruits thereof. And the remnant that is escaped of the house of Judah shall yet again take root downward, and bear fruit upward. For out of Jerusalem shall go forth a remnant, and they that escape out of Mount Zion, the zeal of the Lord of hosts shall do this. Therefore thus saith the Lord concerning the king of Assyria, He shall not come into this city, nor shoot an arrow there, nor come before it with shield, nor cast a bank against it. By the way that he came, by the same shall he return, and shall not come into the city, saith the Lord. For I will defend this city to save it, for mine own sake, and for my servant David's sake. So this is God's reply to Sennacherib's letter. And he's saying, look, I'm the one that did all this. I'm the one that let you get him out, that made it possible for you to destroy all these other nations. You only conquered because I allowed you to. And now you're railing against me? Well, we'll just see about that. You're not going to take the city. You're not even going to be able to shoot one arrow at it. You're going to go back to your own place because you're not doing it. That's the basic gist. There's a lot of references, a lot of things there. I'm not sure about all of it. But that's the basic idea, is that you came down, you destroyed all these cities, and it made you think that you were all that, but you're not. You only did it because I let you. I set this up. I made it possible. From ancient times, I had this in the works. I had it set up so that this would happen from the beginning. And now you're trying to go against me. So this is God's reply to Sennacherib. So let us finish this out. Verse 35. And it came to pass that night that an angel of the Lord went out and smote in the camp of the Assyrians 185,000. And when they arose early in the morning, behold, they were all dead corpses. So Sennacherib, king of Assyria, departed, and went and returned, and dwelt at Nineveh. And it came to pass, as he was worshipping in the house of Nisroch his god, that Adremelech and Sharezer his sons smote him with the sword, and they escaped into the land of Armenia. And Esarhaddon his son reigned in his stead. So this is the fate of Sennacherib for his blasphemy. An angel comes and destroys 185,000, right? 100, fourscore, again, score being 20. So 185,000 are killed in one night by the angel of the Lord. And with such a destruction of his army, Sennacherib goes back to his own land. And while he is there praying to his gods, he is assassinated by 2 of his sons. That is the fate of Sennacherib. Now, before I sign off here, I do want to flip back to 2 Chronicles briefly, again in chapter 32, and read 3 verses here, verses 21 through 23. So it says here, "And the Lord sent an angel which cut off all the mighty men of valor and the leaders and captains in the camp of the king of Assyria. So he returned with shame of face to his own land, and when he was come into the house of his God, they that came forth of his own bowels slew him there with the sword. Thus the Lord saved Hezekiah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem from the hand of Sennacherib the king of Assyria, and from the hand of all other, and guided them on every side. And many brought gifts unto the Lord and to Jerusalem, and presents to Hezekiah king of Judah, so that he was magnified in the sight of all nations from thenceforth." So there you go. That's how Chronicles ends it out. So in Chronicles, we don't really get any story of the blasphemous letter of Sennacherib. We just know that he sends an army to besiege him. Hezekiah and Isaiah both pray, and God destroys the army. It's in 2 Kings that we get this, and in Isaiah. 2 Kings and Isaiah, we get this details of the Ethiopian rebellion and the blasphemous letter. We're going to leave that here. We will read a little bit more in Isaiah as we move along. Isaiah will, again, be basically the same as 2 Kings, but we are continuing with Isaiah and 2 Kings to see more of the history of Hezekiah. So we will see you there.